Filling the low Earth orbit with so many satellites may have unforeseen consequences. One may think it will be a Sandra Bullock's blockbuster movie scenario, Gravity. But Elon Musk has created enough safeguards to prevent something like that. Another consequence recently became apparent as SpaceX launched a Falcon 9 booster for a record-breaking 13th time, hauling 53 more Starlink internet satellites into orbit. Their concerns about the brightness of the latest generation of the broadband relay spacecraft became renewed. Astronomers are becoming increasingly concerned that plans to expand the Starlink megaconstellation will make it almost impossible to observe the sky from Earth. They're asking the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, to step in. SpaceX previously secured regulatory approval to deploy up to 12,000 satellites for Starlink, but it's asking the Federal Communications Commission to allow another 30,000 as part of the Starlink version 2 program. These satellites will be larger and more powerful, and astronomers are already having enough problems with a few thousand of the smaller V1 versions. Astronomers and astrophotographers have been expressing concern since SpaceX started launching the satellites in batches of several dozens at a time. The Astronomical Society of Edinburgh recently posted some images that were supposed to be tracking meteoroids, but the frame is instead filled with streaks from a new cloud of Starlink satellites. And that's just the latest example. Astronomy professor Samantha Lawler from the University of Virginia contacted the FCC to ask for a pause in Starlink launches. Quote, "Please do not take the stars away from us. Starlink satellites need better engineering to make them fainter and to use fewer of them to provide service." End quote. Professor Lawler is not alone in this battle to keep the sky's pictures clean. Andy Lawrence from the University of Edinburgh made a similar plea a few weeks ago, and the university has filed an official objection with the FCC. Olin College planetary science professor Carrie Nugent also filed a letter with the FCC, noting that megaconstellations could make it difficult to detect dangerous near-Earth asteroids. The launch of the V2 constellation is undoubtedly an exciting and important moment for the science community. But there are many unknowns about how these new satellites will impact astronomy. The main concern among astronomers is that because of a possible galactic island effect, we might lose some of our dark skies and be able to see less starlight due to the presence of this newly created artificial satellite galaxy. This could affect astronomy in two ways. We might not be able to see as many stars and slash, or they might become brighter due to more light emitted by all those other artificial satellites in orbit. The potential effect on astronomy doesn't stop there. Some scientists fear that with so much traffic headed towards Earth from space, it will create some congestion in low Earth orbit where NASA has its human spaceflight operations. NASA's LEO operations need a lot of room for maneuvering, so any space debris or objects entering orbit could have serious consequences for the future of manned spaceflight missions. When this dispute emerged in 2020, CEO Elon Musk promised the company would address it with less reflective satellites. However, those changes appear to have made little difference. This is a new problem for space science and communication technology. SpaceX has become the single largest satellite operator in the world in a very short time. With Starlink V2 and other proposed projects like Amazon's Kepler, the environment around Earth could be changing dramatically. It's unclear what, if anything, the FCC will do about it, but even NASA is starting to have doubts. SpaceX has reportedly made additional changes to its satellites to reduce their visibility, but 30,000 satellites is still 30,000 satellites. There may still be time to add. In just a few years, SpaceX has leveraged the reliability and low cost of the Falcon 9 to deploy more than 2,000 Starlink internet satellites. This has helped the company to offer Starlink service to more than 500,000 subscribers. The launch of Starlink V2 is a byproduct of the commercialization of space. Launching satellites into orbit can be costly, but that shouldn't deter companies from pursuing this type of technology. Selling these services to consumers will help offset the cost of launching V2 satellites, as well as help venture capital-backed companies further their business goals. By selling services on a global scale, satellite companies can take advantage of economies of scale and offer cheaper rates to consumers. Perhaps most importantly, though, these new technologies might provide more reliable and faster internet access for people in remote areas of the world who are still using dial-up connections or broadband internet that is too slow for them. This is the future that's shaping up for us. It's hard to say what will happen in the next few years, but it appears that this latest generation of satellites might be able to revolutionize the way we live on Earth. Whether for good or for worse is still to be determined. If you liked this video, hit the like button and send us your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.